Change in Rizal's political views became apparent in the last few years of his life. Such changes brought him back to the motherland where he attempted to put his ideas into action. Although aborted, La Liga Filipina remains as a testament to Jose Rizal's ideas on how should a nation be founded and how freedom is rightfully earned. Let us dive deep to the short-lived La Liga Filipina in this episode of Rizal on Air. I am Vecal Porja.
I am Lee Candelaria.
I am Aaron Malyari.
And I am Janet Rigindina Stelia.
And you are tuned in to podcast Conversations on Philippine History, Politics, and Society.
Hello sa inyong lahat. This week, medyo iba yung genre ng pag-uusapan natin compared to the previous episodes. Kasi kung nung mga nakaraang linggo, pinag-usapan natin yung mga akda at isinulat ni Rizal, ngayon, kagaya ng nabanggit sa introduction, we are talking about La Liga Filipina. So this is not a written work, but an organization that Rizal formed in 1892.
So kung totoo kayong nakikinig sa podcast at sa season na to, maaalala nyo na pinahapyawan na natin to sa 7th episode ng current season, no? When we talked about his exile in Dapitan. So recap lang, baka pala hindi totoong nakikinig sila. Nagdesisyon si Rizal noong 1892 na umalis ng Madrid at tuluyang iwan ang La Solidaridad. So, maraming tinutukoy na mga dahilan, ang iba't ibang historiador behind this decision. So, some say it was caused by the rivalry between Rizal and Marcelo H. del Pilar. Yung iba naman sinasabi that Rizal wanted to continue reformist campaigns in the Philippines kasi para sa kanya, ilapit natin yung gamot sa may sakit.
Others, most prominently Floro Kibuyen, would argue that this was the manifestation of Rizal's radical shift to separatism and total disillusionment in Spain. So, ayun na nga, Rizal left Madrid and stayed in Hong Kong for a while. So, some of his friends and families were there, and he actually had a lucrative medical practice. So, he was quite comfortable maybe for the first time in years. So, he could have stayed there actually. He could establish a clinic and a practice kasi nung mga panahon na yon, konti pa lang yung ophthalmologists. Pero wala He really wanted to go home and continue what he started.
At umuwi nga siya at ang kanyang first order of business ay itatag ang La Liga Filipina. So July 3, 1892, Rizal founded this organization at the house of Doroteo Ongunco in Tondo, Manila. So it was attended by several people. And of course, we know na kabilang sa mga founding members ng Liga ay walang iba kundi si Andres Bonifacio.
Grabe no, umuwi si Rizal, nagtatag siya agad ng La Liga Filipina. Ako kung uuwi ako ng Pilipinas, ang first order of business ko ay Chicken Joy.
Jollibee. True.
True.
Siya La Liga Filipina. So itong La Liga Filipina, it's often described as a reformist organization that aims to include the people in the campaign for reforms. So yun yung tingin ng marami, na clear na break ng Liga from the former reform movements like La Solidaridad. On the one hand, La Solidaridad believed that calls for reform is best done in Spain, malapit sa Cortes, malapit sa pamahalaan mismo ng Espanya, malapit sa ibang mga, kumbaga, valuable allies ng kilusan. But they've been doing this for maybe more or less a decade now at wala namang nangyayari.
Kaya daw naisip na ni Rizal na ibahin na natin, 'di ba? Yung pamamaraan at dalhin na nga yung gamot sa may sakit, no? Ulit-ulit yung sinabi ko na yun. So basically, in this analysis, sinasabi na ang La Liga Filipina ay reformist at assimilationist pa rin. Wala siyang ganong pinagkaiba sa mga naunang kilusan bukod nga sa strategy at bukod sa inclusion ng mas maraming mga Pilipino. Kasi nga 'di ba sa propaganda movement, yung mga Pilipino at Mestizo lang na nakapag-aral sa Espanya, yung maalam sa wikang Kastila at nakakapagsulat.
Pero para sa ibang mga historiador, hindi lang ganun kasimple yung pagkakaiba. Floro Kibuyen would argue in his book, A Nation Aborted, that La Liga Filipina contained separatist and revolutionary characters. And this can be surmised from the constitution of La Liga Filipina itself. So in the constitution, naglahad sila ng 5 layunin or aims of the Liga. So they are as follows.
Unite the whole archipelago into one strong and united organization. Have mutual protection in every need and want. serve as a defense against all violence and injustices, encourage education, agriculture, and commerce, and study the application of reforms.
So at first glance, pwedeng sabihin na yes, very benign and kumbaga very wholesome itong layunin ng Liga Filipina. It appears to be a socio-civic mutual aid organization, parang NGO basically. Mukha siyang cooperative pa nga minsan. And in fact, later, during the trials of Rizal, yan din yung sasabihin ng kanyang defense that the Liga Filipina was a socio-civic organization that aims to help Filipinos help themselves, improve their lives, and so on. Basically, development organization. So the Spaniards, syempre, were extremely suspicious of this. And if you think about the context of the time, maunawaan mo rin kung bakit, diba? Remember na nung panahon na to, kakalabas pa lang ng El Filibusterismo. So, kumbaga, mainit si Rizal sa mata ng mga Kastila, and him being the founder made Liga Filipina a very shady organization for them.
So yun na nga, yung ibang interpretation ng Liga, nakikita ito bilang hindi na fit dun sa reformist assimilationist mold. Tingnan na lang natin, for example, yung 5 layunin na binanggit natin kanina, no? Yung una pa lang, sabi nila, they aspire to unite the whole archipelago into one strong united organization. Di ba, kabansaan na yan, di ba? Whole archipelago. Nasyon na yan. In broad strokes, pwedeng ganun yung ibig sabihin yan. Tapos yung pangalawa pa, have mutual protection in every need and want. So, basically, the Filipinos providing for each other.
True, no? Yung pangatlo yung medyo intense na. Serve as a defense against all violence and injustices. So, yung keyword natin dyan na pwede pagtuunan ng pansin, defense against violence or karahasan. No, syempre, kung iisipin mo, how could the people defend themselves against violence? Diba? At yung pang-apat, encourage education, agriculture, and commerce. So, mapapaisip ka rin talaga, diba? Sino ba ang gumagawa ng mga yan? Diba? Diba the state itself?
Oo nga, no? Tas sa dulo, syempre, the Constitution mentioned the study and application of reforms. So, arguable talaga na parang the Constitution of the Liga Filipina was not simply a constitution for a socio-civic organization, pero parang constitution ng isang bansa. So, I mean, very elaborate din yung organizational structure. So, for example, the organization was made up of a popular council, provincial council, and there's actually a supreme council na bubuin naman ng isang chief, ng isang secretary, and treasurer. So, basically, the popular council was to have the command of the members. The provincial council shall be comprised of the popular councils within the province, and the supreme council shall have the command of the Liga, no, and shall directly engage with the lower councils.
Ang point lang namin dito ay very elaborate yung structure ng Liga. So we can say that the Liga was a really ambitious initiative, and it's really arguable that it was something more than your normal reformist organization. At parang may katotohanan to kung titingnan din yung psyche ni Rizal at the time leading to his return to the Philippines. So first, kung maalala natin earlier that year, Rizal really severed ties with Lasol. In fact, in one of his letters to Blumentritt dated December 30, 1891, sabi niya, La Solidaridad is no longer the place to give battle. This is a new fight. And in another letter, after 1 month, January 31, 1892, sabi niya kay Blumentritt, I have lost hope in Spain. For that reason, I shall not write one more word for La Solidaridad. It seems to me it is in vain.
So based on these correspondences, malinaw yung break ni Rizal from the reformist assimilationist ideology ng Lasol at ng propaganda movement. In fact, at the time, according to Kibuyen, matingkad yung separatist stance ni Rizal. So much so na tinira siya ni Del Pilar sa La Solidaridad. he was caricatured for his politics na ikinagalit ni Rizal. So, nasa Hong Kong siya niyan. Inaway niya si Del Pilar. Ito yung letter, no? At nakakatawa ito. So, pakinggan natin.
What mad dog bit you that you should attack me when here in Hong Kong I have nothing at all to do with politics and work only to prepare for Filipinas a refuge for freedom? Have I not told you that I was leaving politics so that you may gain a lot of prestige? Did you have to attack me for that? I cannot understand it at all. That is why I say to myself that if you acted for political motives, I applaud you and want you to continue because it seems to me you are on the right path. For the time being, I am very much disliked by the friars. So by getting rid of me, you can achieve much in the way of assimilation.
Parang sabi niya, inaano ka ba, girl? Umalis na nga ako, titirahin mo pa ako. Parang ganon, di ba? Baliw ka ba? Parang ganon yung sinabi niya. Pero kita mo din sa letter na yan na may pitik na siya against assimilationism. No? Pero ayun nga, while he was in Hong Kong, inaasikaso niya na nga itong La Liga. So sabi ni Floro Kibuyen, and I quote, La Liga Filipina would pave the way for the formation of a national community and therefore national independence. End of quote. At this point, kumbinsido si Rizal na kahit anong tugon ng Espanya dito, independence was inevitable. No? Consistent sa analysis niya sa dentro de 100 años.
So, hindi nagme-make sense masyado kung ganun yung pagdi-differentiate between Liga Filipina and the Katipunan kung tutuusin. Hindi sila sobrang magkaiba. Yung unang indication yan, yung founding members ng Katipunan, nasa founding members din ng Liga Filipina. Kahit saglit lang yung buhay ng Liga, malaki in fact yung naging impluensya niya sa Katipunan. According pa rin kay Kibuyen, the political platform of the Liga became the ideological cornerstone of the Katipunan. So, mas marami silang overlap kaysa pagkakaiba.
Totoo. Pero alam natin ang ending yan, no? Tinatag ang Liga July 3, inaresto si Rizal July 6. So, he was not arrested for forming the Liga. Iba yon, iba yung naging dahilan. Ang naging dahilan ng aresto niya ay yung inimbentong kaso against him. He was charged of distributing subversive flyers, no? Yung very critical against the friars. Yung Pobres Frailes, kung di ako nagkakamali. So, hindi nag-thrive ang La Liga without Rizal, but in its wake, nabuo naman yung Katipunan. Ang founding date ng Katipunan ay inilahad na July 7, 1892. So, a day after Rizal's arrest.
Oo nga, yan so far yung alam, pero may mga bagong dokumento na natagpuan ang historian na si Jim Richardson na nagsasabi na as early as January of that year, binubuo na yung Katipunan. So medyo may mga update sa records natin, kumbaga. But anyway, I think sa episode na to, napapaisip tayo, is the Liga Filipina Rizal's attempt to put his vision for independence or revolution in practice? Parang ito na ba yung pagka sa praktika nung sinasabi ni Padre Florentino sa dulo ng Fili na kung nais natin ang tunay na kalayaan, kailangan nating magtanim ng mabubuting binhi at hindi dapat magmula sa lason yung aspirations natin to be free. I think that's a very interesting point to reflect on for our listeners.
Kaya dyan na natin tapusin yung kwentuhan natin na to and let us know what you think about that idea. No, share your thoughts with us. Tag nyo kami sa aming social media. We are, of course, on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn.
Well, pwede rin kayong mag-comment sa aming YouTube video for this episode. Subscribe to podcast at Podcast TV.
Tuloy-tuloy lang sa pakikinig sa aming episodes. Don't forget to follow us on Spotify and other streaming apps. And visit our website, podcast.org.
Next week, exciting yung episode natin. Rizal's third novel. May third novel pala. So that and more in the next episode of Rizal on Air. For now, thank you for listening and have a good day.